Welcome to Learn History TV. Today, we're diving into the inspiring and turbulent history of Burkina Faso, from powerful pre-colonial kingdoms and French colonialism, to revolutionaries and coups. Let's uncover how this West African nation became what it is today. Long before it was called Burkina Faso, the land was home to ancient Mossi kingdoms, founded in the 11th century by warrior horsemen believed to have migrated from modern-day Ghana. The Mossi people, who remain the largest ethnic group in the country today, established centralized states like Ouagadougou, Tenko-Dogo, and Utenga, known for their military prowess and political organization. Burkina Faso's ethnic mosaic includes the Mossi, Fulani or Pule, Gumanche, Bobo, Lobi, and Senefo, each with rich traditions and languages, living mostly in harmony across the savannas and plateaus. In the late 1800s, the French invaded during the Scramble for Africa, integrating the area into French West Africa as Upper Volta in 1919. The Mossi kingdoms resisted but were ultimately subdued. French rule imposed forced labor, taxed the population, and tried to replace traditional culture with French language and systems. Although Upper Volta was briefly dissolved in 1932 and its territory split among neighbors, it was restored in 1947 due to Mossi resistance and demands for autonomy. The Republic of Upper Volta was established on the 11th of December 1958 as a self-governing colony within the French community. The name Upper Volta related to the nation's location along the upper reaches of the Volta River. The river's three tributaries are called the Black, White, and Red Volta. These were expressed in the three-color of the former national flag. On August 1960, Burkina Faso gained independence, but French influence didn't vanish. The new elites spoke French, relied on French aid, and the economy remained tied to French trade through the CFA franc. France's shadow loomed long after colonial flags came down. The first president, Maurice Yameogo, was the leader of the Voltaic Democratic Union. The constitution provided for election of a president and a national assembly for 5-year terms. Soon after coming to power, Yameogo banned all political parties other than the UDV. The government lasted until 1966. After much unrest, including mass demonstrations and strikes by students, labor unions, and civil servants, the military intervened. The 1966 military coup deposed Yameogo, suspended the constitution, hereby dissolving the National Assembly, and placing Lieutenant Colonel Sangoula Maizena at the head of a government of senior army officers. The army remained in power for 4 years. On the 14th of June 1976, the Voltans ratified a new constitution that established a 4-year transition period toward complete civilian rule. Maizena remained in power throughout the 1970s as president of military or mixed civil-military governments. His rule coincided with the beginning of the Sahel drought and famine, which had a devastating impact on Upper Volta and neighboring countries. Conflict over the 1976 constitution led to a new constitution which was written and approved in 1977. Maizena was re-elected in 1978. His government faced problems with the country's traditionally powerful trade unions, and on the 25th of November 1980, Colonel Sesebo overthrew him in a bloodless coup. Colonel Sesebo established the Military Committee of Recovery for National Progress as the supreme governmental authority, thus eradicating the 1977 constitution. He also encountered resistance from trade unions and was overthrown 2 years later by Major Dr. Jean-Baptiste Ouédraogo and the Council of Popular Salvation, CSP, in the 1982 coup d'état. The CSP continued to ban political parties and organizations, yet promised a transition to civilian rule and a new constitution. Infighting quickly developed between the right and left factions of the CSP. The leader of the leftists, Captain Thomas Sankara, was appointed Prime Minister in January 1983, but he was subsequently arrested. Efforts to free him, directed by Captain Blaise Compaoré, resulted in a military coup d'état on the 4th of August 1983. Thomas Sankara was a young, charismatic Marxist and Pan-Africanist, known as Africa's Che Guevara. He renamed the country Burkina Faso, meaning land of upright people, to break from its colonial past. He launched bold reforms. He nationalized land and resources, championed women's rights, cut government corruption, rejected foreign aid and promoted self-sufficiency. Sankara also planted millions of trees, vaccinated millions of children, and inspired a generation. But his anti-imperialist stance made powerful enemies, and in 1987, he was assassinated in a coup led by his former ally, Blaise Compaoré. He betrayed Sankara and ruled for 27 years. After the coup, his time in power brought political stability and economic liberalization, but also authoritarianism, corruption, and the silencing of dissent. He maintained close ties with France and was accused of allowing foreign military operations and meddling in neighboring conflicts. His long rule eventually provoked a massive uprising. In 2014, when he tried to amend the constitution to stay in power, Burkinabè citizens flooded the streets in protest. Compaoré fled the country, ending his nearly three-decade grip. Lieutenant Colonel Isaac Zida then led the country during its transitional period before the planned 2015 presidential election. Roch-Marc Christian Compaoré, a successful banker, eventually won the election and was sworn in on the 29th of November, 2015. As he resumed office, a jihadist insurgency was brewing in the rural areas. Two extremist groups, Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin and Islamic State Greater Sahara, have been the major culprits. Thousands of innocent people were killed and many more displaced. As at 2023, about 50% of the nation had been captured by the terrorists. Years of instability eventually led to a military coup on the 24th of January, 2022, led by Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. He justified the coup by citing the rampant insecurity and chaos. 8 months later, he was deposed by a group of soldiers led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Ibrahim Traoré, at just 34 years old, took power in a popular military coup, promising to fight terrorism, reclaim national dignity, and push back foreign interference. Seen by many as a modern-day echo of Sankara, Traoré has expelled French troops, suspended some foreign media, and is leaning towards stronger ties with Russia and other non-Western allies. He has also built the first gold refinery in the country, and invested significantly in agriculture, healthcare and infrastructure. His message? Burkina Faso will be sovereign, secure, and led by its people, not outsiders. Burkina Faso's story is one of resilience, from ancient Mossi kingdoms to anti-colonial heroes and modern revolutionaries. French influence still lingers in its institutions, but the people continue to fight for a future of dignity, independence, and unity. If you found this history fascinating, give us a like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Who inspires you more, Sankara or Traoré? Let us know.